Hey guys, I got my Highlifter 2.5-inch lift kit in yesterday, and I'm going to install it on my Wolverine X2. And you see Leia in the background. She likes to ride with us. This is basically step one. So loosen the shocks and the mount up there. I'll loose the bottom so I can just lay them out flat. Well, close as flat as you can get. Go around to this side.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, step two. Yeah, thanks, hon. I'm recording right now. Step two is we got to remove that one line for the radiator, the overflow. Not remove it, actually, we got to relocate it. So I'm going to undo those clips. It's that one right there. I'll undo those clips, mount it to the outside of this frame rail. And I'll get you on the next steps. So on step two, I have to relocate that radiator overflow line. I got to cut those two pieces of. Step two requires us to relocate the radiator overflow line to the outside of this frame. So it should be to the left here somewhere. So I'm going to cut those, relocate the line, and then we'll go to the next step. Alright, where we left off was relocating this radiator drain, overflow drain tube. And there was like, right there was like two wire ties, plastic ones that kind of held it up. The reason I want you relocated is that's it can get pinched, so it's tighter than what it looks like. And I was trying to figure out, how do I relocate that without taking off all this? And I tested it, and I think this is going to work. What worked for me was I took a wire tie, I put it loosely around here, and then I feed this through over top the radiator. You got to go at a sharp angle, about like that, which will bring it out. Which will bring it out over top here. We can get it with your hand and then kind of pull that overflow line back. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And if I want to, I can take another wire tie and hook to that one and just kind of keep it loosely taut away from where the lift kit's going. And I'll get back and show you the results. And as you can see here, you see that moving a little bit. Right here is where it came out. So set it over the radiator. Probably won't be able to see up in there too well, but there it is. And I think that's going to work great. Let's take a look in here. And it is out of the way. It's going to go down over there on the other side, but I don't think that's going to be a problem after the install. So we're going to give it a try. So that seems to be working pretty good. I just pulled it up here temporarily to hold that overflow tube out of the way. If you can see here, it's out of the way. And after I do the install, then I'll just take the wire ties off that overflow tube and let it just rest back against the new lift. Is it suspended in there dangling before? It's not going to hurt it dangle again. I'll get back with you after I get the brackets installed. So one thing I recommend during installation is to put both the rails together and slide it in together. And so we'll go ahead and get it inserted and see where we're at. So one thing important is you want to stack the brackets so that there's the offset creates a gap down here. And of course they're probably going to have a bushing in between these two. So I'm going to go ahead and get it inserted and I'll get back with you. So I got everything good and tight up there. What I do is I just snug each bolt and then go back and give them good tight. One of my pet peeves is I hate over stuff that's over tightened. Probably could have used a torque wrench on there. I give it nice, good snug. And then make sure that you tighten up the bottom of your shock. That's an easy one to forget. So I'll do that and do both sides, and then we put the wheels on, lower it down, and then we'll start on the back. So I just want to note here that you need a 17 millimeters for these, and I found on the driver's side I was able to do it with a 17 millimeter socket on the ratchet on both sides. This one I need a 17 millimeter wrench because that box right there makes it a little too tight. Alright, now I'll get back with you when I get it let down and start on the back. Hey, one thing I wanted to note here, guys, before I put the tires, wheels on this, is this factory hub here comes with a cover. If you get aftermarket tires on wheels, if you can leave this on and put your new wheels with their covers over top of it, I would recommend it. That's what the installer of my wheels and tires told me, because this will help protect the hub better. The inserts in your new wheels sometimes will pop out and your hub's exposed. But it's just a thought. Another thing I want to note here, guys, is you may have noticed this already in the videos, but I always put jacks under there, under the front, just to stabilize it, because running this 3-ton jack here will want to move around on you, and it will make it dangerous. But I'll get ready to lower her back down, and we'll see what she looks like. So here's what the front looks like. The 2.5-inch lift. I mean, that's a lot over our factory Wolverine X2 2019. What the front looks like. Yeah. You can definitely see, of course my driveway sloped just slightly, but you can see how the front is angled up more than the back. Shocks look good. I was a little concerned about CV axles, but they're not too angled. That's good. A lot better than my Polaris 4-wheeler. The axles are really angled out from the factory. These look pretty good. I'm gonna start the back. So I got the back of it jacked up and the passenger side wheel and tire off, and I'm gonna go over and take the other wheel off here shortly. I think I might just leave it on until I get over there, because this is probably going to be one side at a time type deal, but I haven't looked at the instructions yet, but we'll see. Process the same, loosen this up, loosen that, drop it down, and then put in these brackets. So I'll do that, and I'll get back with you here on it when I get to that point. But by the way, this is what works for me. I can use both ratchets at the same time and get it off twice as fast and put it on twice as fast. They're not overly tight, so it's easy to do. So one of the things I would like to note is it says on the rear, we start on the, let's see, we start on the passenger side, I believe here. Yeah, starting on the right side, passenger side. And install 81J. So we got 81J right and 81J left. So this one is 81J left. This would be the right one. 81J right. So I'll put these on. So I got it roughed in. I got to put the bolt through the shock yet there. One of the things I did notice was this shock was hard to clear. I had to push my suspension down to get it to go underneath that. And what I found was I still had the other side shock mounted. I haven't went to that side yet, so I haven't done that shock. And I think the stabilizer here on the other side, on the driver's side, was preventing, it was keeping torsion on the A-arm, lower A-arm or upper A-arm there on the other side. And by removing that other shock, loosening it up, I was able to get it in there relatively easy. So in the instructions it calls for these AA spacers in there, and I found that it was easier to get lined if I just put my foot on here, put some pressure on it, to push it down. I was able to start it. Now I can put this second AA spacer in between here, and it should be ready. Okay, everything's tightened up, and you notice I do have that nut in the opposite side. I'm going to duplicate that on the other side, no particular reason. I just didn't want to pull that bolt back out because it's a little difficult to get that shock in there. I mean, I guess it really wasn't that, but it was a little easy. I had to step on this and align the bolt and slide it in at the same time. Okay, the left side's done, nice and tight. So I'm going to put the wheels, tires back on, lower it down, see what we got. So here's the finished install. I'll use a tape measure here for a second. Yeah, over here in the shade. Look at the front, it's pretty good clearance. See what we got. Now, I got about 17 inches on the back. It used to be about my lowest point. Let's check the side. About 17 and a half on the sides. About 14 and a half on the front.